Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Vivek Learns. So in the last video, which was done almost some time ago, like some almost a week ago, we had solved this question where we had done the subtraction of two numbers which were in any base. So in this video, we will try to solve this problem, which is any base multiplication. So let's try to read the question first. You are given a base B, you are given two numbers n1 and n2 of base B, and you are required to multiply n1 and n2 and print the value. Okay, so let's say we have these numbers and we will get the output as these. Okay, so how will we approach this problem? So let me open Notepad first. So let's say we have been given the base as 8, like we will try to multiply octal numbers first. So we'll try to multiply 77 times 7. So what will be done here is first we'll multiply 7 into 7. 7 sevens are 49, but 49 is not octal. So what we will do is that we'll divide. So let me write the steps here. Gives you 49. Then what we do? 49 divided by 8. We divide by the base to get the carry forward. So the carry forward will be almost 8 6 are 48, right? Yeah. And then we'll also get the remainder. So we'll get the remainder, which will be something like mod the base, right? Which is 1. So what happens here is 1 will come here and then 6 come here. 6 will come here. So again what happens is 7 times 7. What is 7 times 7? 49. Okay, let me have that here. 7 times 7, 49, plus we have the carry forward as 6, which is my mistake, almost 55, right? Yeah. Then what we do? 55 is not octal. So we try to convert that into octal by having a carry forward. So whenever we divide, we try to find what is the carry forward. So what is the carry forward? It's 8 6. 8 6 are 48. Okay, so 48, 8 sevens are 56 almost, right? So we'll have 8 6 are 48, and then if we do 55 mod 8, then we have almost 7, because 8 6 are 48. 48 plus 7 is, yeah. So what comes here is 7. We'll have 7, and then we'll have the carry forward again here, which will be 6, right? And then what we do is 7 times 0, which is 0, plus, let me write that as well. 7 times 0 is equals to 0, plus the carry forward is 6. So we'll get 6, and 6 is octal, is in the range of octal, right? So we don't do all these steps further, like we don't divide by 8 and then we don't have the mod and all those things, right? So this is how we'll try to solve this problem. So let me copy the same class that we have and just rename it to any base multiplication, right? So we take two numbers and let's say we don't do all these things, we print only the result. Okay, so we get the two numbers, null result, let's say. So what we need to do is that we need to get the two numbers first, right? So we have these two numbers. Let's say this is num1 and this is num2, right? So this num2, it can be one digit or multiple digits as well. So what we can do first is we can iterate over num2, let's say. Okay, and we can have num2 is not equals 0. Then we get the d2, let's say, which is the digit of num2. So if num2 is not equals 0, then t2 is equals to mod 10. So how is it done then? After this, d2 is equals to num2 mod 10. Then we need to have some logic to get d1 as well, right? So we'll get the digit 1 from num1. Num1 is not equals 0, let's say. Then we need to have a carry forward as well. So let's say int carry forward inner equals 0. If carry forward inner is not equals 0, we have to keep on iterating. Or if num1 is not equals to 0, in a similar way we'll find d1. 1 d1 from num1 mod 10. Okay, so we get d1 and d2. Now we get let's say it's a variable which is multiplication of d1 times d2 plus the carry forward as well. That's what we do, right? What we have done here is close this. We have multiplied 7 times 7 and we have added the carry forward as well. And then we set the carry forward inner to 0 because it's exhausted now, right? And then we check if multiplication mul is greater than or equals to base. If it is greater than or equals to base, right, we saw 7 times 7 is 49. 49 is greater than equal to base. Then what we do? Mm, what do we do? We we find the carry forward first. We find the carry forward inner is equals to mul by base, right? It's mul by base. Then what happens is we need to have another variable as well, which stores the multiplication. So let's call it multiplication 0, and this have to be 0 every time. So let me have it here. So we'll store all the records, all the digits here. Let's say multiplication is equals to plus. We'll need to find the mod now, right? Yes, times. We'll have some kind of counter here. Let's say count int count, and let's say we'll have inner count. what does this count do? It increments each time. So int, then we do math.pow 10 to the power inner count. Otherwise, what do we do? We don't have the inner count, right? Then what do we do is we just take the multiplication and then we multiply that. We have multiply that by 10 to power something. Then what needs to be done is inner count needs to be incremented, as well as the num1 needs to be incremented. But we will lose the num1 if we do this. So we are thinking only for one number now, like this number that we have. Like num1 is 77 and num2 is 7. So for one iteration, this will be fine. But for other iterations, we'll have to store it in some temporary variable, or we need to think what else can be done, right? So let's try to print this first and see if see if this works. So this gives us multiplication. Then after this, what do we do? We get multiplication, right? Then what do we do? Num2 is equals to num2 have to be decreased. Num2 is equals to num2 by 10. Okay, we need to do some logic here to, but for now we are just printing for one iteration, so that will be fine. Like num2 is 7 only for now. So let's try to run this once and check. So for now we are only considering that the num2 is a single digit. The result is 0. Okay, null result. Okay, we haven't initialized that. So we need to print multiplication only, but that will not be in the scope here, right? So let me try to print it just here for now, just for testing. Yeah, so we do get the output 671. So this is just when we multiply a two-digit number by a single-digit number, and the condition is the second number has to be a single-digit number. So that is the condition that we have. So now let's try to solve for two digits. So when there are two digits, what will happen is we'll get another input like this, and then we'll have to multiply that by 0, and then we'll have to add those two numbers, because 7 times 77 again will give us 671, but we'll have to multiply that with 0, right? And then we'll have to add those two numbers to get the final number. So what do we do? We need to write some logic here, right? Where here to add those two numbers. So we have already seen that, right? how do we add two numbers in another base? Okay, so let me try to have that logic repeated here again. So I think we can create a new method. Let's say int add. That will be also a static method. That will take two numbers, right? Int num1, int num2, and int base. And then for now, let's return null. Let's return 0. Okay, okay. This have to be outside the main method in the class scope, right? No method, right? So this will be here now. So we'll have to write some logic here to add the two numbers by calling this method. So what we need to do is that we need to first get the multiplication, and then we need to multiply it with 10 to power something. Pow. 10 to the power. We'll have to create a variable, let's say, int outer count, let's say, which is 0. So let's say outer count. Let me increment it here itself. So what are we doing here is that we are multiplying by 10 for the second one. So this is for the 0th time. So 10 to the power 0 is 1. So we won't multiply by anything, right? Then we multiply by 10. For the next time we multiply by 100, and then we try to add it. Okay. So yeah, we have multiplied it now. Let's try to call this method base, and then we have to add the mul. We have to add the mul. Okay, so we have created a variable already called mul result. So let us consider that this will hold up the values for the multiplication result that we have. So mul result is nothing but whatever we get from this. So for first iteration it will be 0. Then we need to add the multiplication. We have multiplied by 10, and then we need to add mul result and multiplication. So this will do it, like this method will do it. Okay, so like we had the logic here for adding the two numbers here, right, in the sum one. So let me try to copy that because we have already done that, right? And then we need to return the sum. Okay, so this logic, this method will add the two numbers, which is result as multiplication with the given base. Okay, so what happens is these two numbers will be added, right? Yeah. Then we'll get some output. And the output will be something like the last two digits will be 0, like the unit place digit will be 1 and this one will be 8, so 0. Then like 0 and 1 will be the last two digits. So let us try to see that. Let us check if this works right first. So this will add it, and yeah, I think this should work. Let's try to run it. Base, it gave us the result 671 itself. So what is wrong with that? Mul result plus multiplication, add with the given base. Second number is 77. We try to print the multiplication here, so we'll get the clear picture. All right. So what happens now is that num1 is exhausted. So num1 will be 0, right? So once we divided this number with 0, with 10, 10, 10, it will be exhausted. So we need to have some kind of temporary variable here. Temp num1 is equals to num1. Then we can perform operations on this temp num1. Because we don't want to exhaust the num1. Okay, so let me, sorry, run this once. Yeah, the last two digits are 0, 1. So probably this is our output. Let us try to check it. So let me give some inputs here. 7, and let me click the calculate here. Hopefully this gives us 7601. This isn't working. Yes. So let's try for other inputs. Let us try to calculate for this with our program as well. 5423. Let's try to 5423. Let's try for some binary numbers. Basis to 100 is 4. 4 times 4 is 4 4s are 8, right? So 1000 should be the output. Oh, it gives us 10,000. Mm. So this is 4 4. This is 4, right? 0. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 2, 3, 4. It's almost giving us 16. Right. Let's try for some other outputs. Basis 2, and we try to multiply 101 with 101. So 101 is 5, 5, 5 25. So this is hmm, let me try to analyze this. This is 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, 4 to the 8 plus 8, 8 to the 16, right? So almost 9 plus 16 gives us 25, right? So that is working, but this isn't. 1000, oops, 200 by 100 times 100, like 4 times 4, it should give us 8, right? Yeah, so we'll try to tackle this in the next video. So that is all for this video. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.